Hello and welcome to episode 5 of the Neitherworld or Neverworld podcast. I'm Matty and I'm joined as always by my co-hosts
Ben.
It's Charlie.
Perry.
This week we have a very, very special, like we've emphasised that, very, very special guest who we owe a lot to. So if you'd like to introduce yourself and something about yourself.
Okay, hi. I'm Ren, or Evil.misfits, on literally every single social media that exists. Something interesting about me. Am I interesting? I don't know.
Yes!
Yes. Of course.
I'm a fraternal twin. That's interesting.
You're a what?
Nice.
Oh, fraternal twin.
An eternal twin?
Yeah.
Like eternal, like forever?
No, like fraternal.
Fra.
So my twin doesn't look like me.
Okay. I don't know why every time you kept saying like fraternal.
Another clone.
Yeah, eternal twin. I mean, eternal twin is also like a pretty sick. That would be pretty sick, though, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, that's so cool. So Ren, just to give people context as to why we owe a lot to Ren, Ren edits the podcast, so has to deal with listening to us and cutting out the ums and ahs and the are we recording? Are we recording it? Like cutting out all that. So that's super super helpful. So thank you. So you're a guest this week, as well as you're an amazing Beetlejuice cosplayer. So like, welcome.
Thank you.
Yes, of course.
Welcome.
You guys are amazing too.
The Neitherworld podcast.
I love that you're wearing a Beetlejuice shirt. Matty, you should write the theme tune.
So to begin this week's episode, we of course have the deets. At the end of last week and during this week, sadly, the cast of Beetlejuice have cleared out their things from the Winter Garden. So what was everyone's reactions to this?
Crying.
Yeah.
Too much.
Sad.
I was pretty sad, but like I'm still kind of optimistic about it because like it's so successful that it's hard to believe that nothing would happen to it, you know?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'm sure there will be more of it. But it's just the Winter Garden obviously being such a great base for the show and for Alex as well. It's just so sad to see them leaving it. And okay, who cried when Presley in little Presley's video when she saw Dave?
Yes.
That's so mean.
Because my heart. That was
just like all of their little stories that they're posting. It was so cute.
Will Blum reposted one of my drawings, and I was like,
that's amazing.
I know. I was like, sir, don't do this to me right now, because that was the first time I met him, and I drew it on this little quick thing before I met him, and I was like, oh, I want to give him something, and he came out, and I was waiting at the back of the line, and just kind of like. And I saw that again, and I was like, "Oh my god, this man! This is why he's got to come to England." But
yes,
yeah.
But I think also because everything's being cleared out, like it makes it even more real, but also not real because like Broadway's like dead at the minute. So like everything is not like life is not happening. Life is paused, and so like them clearing it out, it doesn't feel real or right because also they didn't have like a goodbye thing. So it's. We, as well as we're trying to be optimistic and know how great the show is and how popular it is, like that we should that we hope that it has like a second life as well. But yeah, the Winter Garden obviously it's like it's been there for a while and it is like a perfect house for that. But then clearing out their stuff, you're just like, oh no, they're really gone.
Yeah, the fact that they got like kicked out so early, like they were supposed to leave June 6th, and then Broadway's like, nope, we're not open until the day after.
June 7th.
Yeah, that's so gutting as well. It's the day after. Like, obviously, it's unlikely to open on the 7th of June at this rate, but if it did open on the 7th of June and it just, it could have been the 5th of June and it could have done one last show.
I would have been so, I'm going to be so pissed if they do open on like just the 7th. Ideal situation is they open before and then they go, oh my god, quick, everybody put your stuff back in the dressing room, and then they like that would be great.
That would be like the perfect thing.
Because I saw like a Twitter thing and it was like hopes for like early June for a vaccine that they're working on or finding or something. I didn't click on that. I don't know how accurate that is, but it looks like early June or July. So if it was early June,
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
No, the
Lecture of respect for Alex's Avengers mask. Did anyone see that?
absolutely, yeah.
oh yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it,
Yeah.
but I know it's awesome.
Well, that's kind of how
But
it
yeah,
goes
the,
with Alex. Haven't
the
seen it,
other
but I
thing
know
that
it's
hit me
on.
was the confetti on the stage.
Oh,
They hadn't even
Oh.
swept up the confetti from the last show. That's just
Ugh.
obviously
That's
that's
gonna be like means that all the techies and stuff are gonna have to come back in and clean up that stage later.
yeah. Well, I mean, I
Someone's
guess
gotta
it's,
do it.
Live.
I imagine it's a job like at the beginning of the show to start getting ready because obviously they have to completely clear that set anyway to make it into Maitland's again. So there's not real point in doing it at the end of the show when at the beginning of the next show that's what we're doing. So it makes sense that it's still there. It's just painful.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was
I'll
actually
show how.
I was thinking about the sand puppet or the sandworm puppet just like sitting at the edge of the stage doing nothing. That kind of made me sad.
Big Sandy, she's just left there.
So lonely.
What's
Well,
gonna
she's-
happen to her?
She's
once
hanging
the
with.
show's over?
She's with the Winter
What's
Garden
gonna happen to
cats.
Big Sandy now?
Can we adopt?
Yes.
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 I will very
Definitely.
happily have a sandworm head in my room.
Yeah,
Oh.
Just
as
sat
a collective, the Neitherworld podcast will adopt Sandy.
Yes.
there.
Well,
You
on
heard it here, folks.
a real note though, with shows that close, the like costume and stuff pretty much always go into like which I'm sure you guys know, but they go into like storage and stuff, and some stuff
Yeah.
so like National Theatre has a storage of all their things. I think that's why they put on like the costume exhibition. If any of you saw that, that was fucking gorgeous.
Yeah.
But there was this thing of some, you know, those when you have a big poster like oh my god the Beetlejuice Winter Garden thing, the massive marquee thing, like that's
Yeah.
probably gonna get thrown away.
Yeah, what's
but
gonna
like
happen to
Jesus,
that?
I mean thrown away, but like that is massive, isn't it? That's crazy.
Someone should take that.
Yeah,
We should adopt that as well.
exactly. Fly it
We-
over.
we-
Fly it over. But I got one time of my favorite musical, The Grinning Man. When it was on, it had a short life, but they had this big grinning smile thing made out of metal on it, and it was found in like a charity shop in Ipswich. Of like, for some reason, it just found its. I guarantee you, somebody like stole it and then wanted to go sell it because it looked cool. But I went and like I bought it, and now it's like living in my garage because I couldn't bear to think that it would just be like taken by some random person,
so
and I
cool.
was like, I'm just gonna keep this, and it's way too big for anywhere in my house. Like it's this massive big sign that they have on the West End, but I'm just kind of like I need this. So I hope because but it's gonna be weird as well because I wonder when it is getting cleared up because I know one of my friends Bree on Twitter and TikTok who they are amazing. Broadway Bree on TikTok. Shout out. They took the like what the Constitution means to me sign when it was being taken down. So I wonder if there's, I mean, obviously if it's happening during isolation, it's not a good idea. But if it's like right after, all the Beetlejuice fans like show up at the marquee, just being like, "Can I get a little bit? Can I get a little bit of it?
Yeah, just a bit.
A corner of it.
Just a
Take this.
yeah,
Just a
exactly.
little bit as a treat.
Yeah, just a little bit of the Beetlejuice. Well, some of the Beetlejuice kinnies will just take like a little nibble, and they'll just be they'll be like, I'm just gonna have
Yeah.
a nibble, and then I'm good.
Yeah.
I can see someone like tearing down like the whole entire mural that they have like outside the stage door.
Yeah.
Trying to take like doors.
Yeah. Oh my god. With the little yeah, everything at the back. I mean, I've said this before, but I did try to steal the one of the marquee signs that was coming loose, but that was I mean, all of you have heard that because Ren also listens, but that didn't work
Definitely
out.
legal.
But now,
Definitely legal.
well,
Definitely legal.
Of course.
yeah, but you know, it's in the spirit of the chaos and the. I mean, I didn't do it, but I did actually buy a grabby claw. You know, like those long grabby claws from like Poundland. I bought one of those, and the next time I came, it wasn't loose. But I literally brought it to the rush line at like 7 a.m. and I was like, let me just. But I didn't. It didn't work out. But it is fun to have a grabby claw. Like I feel like that also has other fun things. Okay, so moving on. Are there any other shows?
Quick thing, is Music Man still going into the Winter Garden?
I think it
Yeah,
might.
I
apparently.
think so.
I swear there was something saying it might not.
Yeah, I thought there was.
Yeah, I
something
swear there was a
saying
thing that
different
would scared
show.
off Jackman.
Please.
That would be interesting. But also, you know what? That's another thing about the Music Man. I'm not against the musical as a show, and I think I talked about this as well, as it was mainly like a producing thing, and also they didn't think Beetlejuice would have this much of a life. Like, it's just unfortunate circumstance more than you should be like hating the actors or the show, because all the actors have no idea about that. But what I didn't like at all was when they were selling Music Man tickets at the box office during Beetlejuice's run. That was, I felt that was a bit insensitive or just stupid. Like, do it online. You can make them available online. But come on, like, somebody's gonna come in and they're gonna. Ugh. And it feels bad. When
I went to collect my tickets, it was kind of a bit of a punch in the gut, because you walk in and it was 3 different windows, and you have Beetlejuice window, Beetlejuice window, and then the Music Man window. And there was like a queue of people for the Music Man, and it was just me going to Beetlejuice one. And I was like, this is sad. This is not what I want.
No, exactly, because then it makes it look like it's like, oh, we can't wait till this leaves so we can go see this new. Like, I get it online because you pre-book stuff and you whatever, but like I've had like Sunday in the Park with George booked since last year, but just because it's, which are fingers crossed that that's still happening, though unlikely. But like, you wouldn't have it in the box. I've never ever seen that done before, ever, which is so. Actually, maybe not on Broadway before, but some theaters that they actually have like they tell you the run at the beginning of the run, like that makes sense, because then it's like, oh yeah, you can buy it for the show because it's a season, so it's like a month of this, fair enough. But if it's a show that's supposed to be open ended, and then they're like always had a closing date, but I've never normally seen that on Broadway. That's super weird. But that was just a punch in the gut.
I saw a video on YouTube, really good video, and it was called something like "What Went Wrong with Beetlejuice," and it went into how the show was developed, how it all started, and then how it blew up because of TikTok and stuff. But it also went into the actual business side of it with the Schubert, which is the big corporation who own all the theatres, and getting to know a lot of.
Oh no, Matty's gone.
He's freezing.
No.
Oh my god.
Also, it is 5 to 8, so do we want to pause?
Oh, yeah, that's...
Yeah, maybe let's pause it while Matty is dead and while the NHS clap is soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Great question.
Alright, we pause for the NHS clap. So, support the NHS and don't vote Tory, because then you're a hypocrite. Anyway, little politics there. I love the crying Waluigi background. Just appreciate that from Charlie there. Also, back on topic of what we're supposed to be fucking doing. Also, are there any other shows that have been shut down or recently retired or had a short run that you love besides Beetlejuice that you want a revival of or would love to see like recordings of and stuff? So, let's say Perry first. What do you think?
Yep, School of Rock needs to come back. I need it in my life.
Please.
I made the mistake of only really getting into it like a month and a bit before it closed, and that was regret, because now I'm here just like, I need to see it, and it's not here, and I can't watch it.
It's coming to me.
And I know there's a tour there, so it's not going near me, and
Perry, just come down to me. Come watch School of Rock.
Yes, I will. I will come and live with you for a week and we'll watch it.
Literally.
Let's do it.
That is how you should do it. That is how you... School of Rock is godly, and I miss it. There's also my friend Jake who is in it, who is alternate doing. Was supposed to be. I know it was like by a week that I missed his new gig, so I was going to see him in something new, which would have been my first time seeing him in something new. But obviously it's been cancelled, so he was rehearsing for that, and then everything got cancelled, which a lot of theatre people have had to do, which is so shit.
There are a lot of shows that were like just about to open that now can't open as well.
Yeah.
Which is really annoying. I think Miss Doubtfire was a couple of weeks away from opening.
Yeah.
That looks so good.
Yeah,
I was looking forward to that. Yeah.
I'm going to do a brief shout out for Jay, because Mrs. Doubtfire is the only thing that's keeping me alive right now.
Yeah.
Jay's Mrs. Doubtfire is everything, and so if you're listening, Jay, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Did anyone see him doing it on Tinder? That was the funniest thing.
On
I've seen.
Tinder?
Oh my god, yeah.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Yeah, they did.
That's
Yeah,
iconic.
they did a Tinder thing where it was like Mrs. Upfront Tinder, and they actually got serious people responding, being like, yeah. And apparently they got to a point where they posted the picture of Robbie Williams, and he's got all the cake on his face at the fridge. And they like sent that picture, and the guy still wasn't getting it, so he was like, "No, I'm blocking."
Oh my Jesus.
But like, that's just perfection, and I love them.
The
Like,
horny,
it's such a cool
the
idea.
horny really gets to people. Like it gets to the brain. But I love that.
Mm.
Oh my god, that's crazy. Okay, so Charlie, what about you? Revival stuff that isn't Beach or School of Rock.
I don't actually know. I mean, I was thinking about it. I didn't have many shows, so I don't actually get to go see theatre shows that often.
Well, it could be an album
So-
that you never got to see, a show you never got to see live that you'd like to see a production of. Like that's something that could be revived. You know.
I mean, it's not it's not theatre, but I was potentially going to be able to go see MCR in concert,
Oh my god.
and
yeah.
that's now postponed to next year.
Wait,
Yeah.
but,
It's really annoying.
do you have tickets?
Sorry?
Do you have tickets though?
My friend had tickets, and I was potentially going to be able to get a spare ticket, and so
Oh.
that's now gone pretty much.
Which is well, I mean,
Which sucks.
hopefully it's at least postponed, which is still annoying, but
Yeah.
it will happen.
Mm.
Yeah,
So
that's
many
fair. I
postponements.
think that was there was a lot of stuff to be excited about that has been postponed or cancelled due to this, as well as
Yeah.
other things that have just
Yeah.
as well as what, I'm actually I'm sad School of Rock closed, but I'm glad that it didn't. I have a feeling I'm glad that it did when it did, because if Corona had happened, it was already not doing great. And I think if they tried to pull through that during right now, they would have lost a lot of money because they wouldn't have terminated the contract of that, and they probably would have been one of the shows that wouldn't have returned, which meant that we didn't get any goodbye at all. It would have just been
that's fair.
Yeah.
which I have a feeling that would have
Yeah.
happened, which would have been, oh my god, so much worse. Because David flew over, and then
absolutely,
he'd
yeah.
immediately be stuck here, and no goodbye and all that. But which is already so shitty enough with Beach, but I can't have that with two things. That would be too much.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
One is enough.
Yeah, as sad as closing is, but I think we discussed this as well, of that them not being able to say goodbye and it closing is just so much worse. It doesn't feel like real closure.
Yeah, definitely.
Maddie, what about you?
It's not something that's really gone, but it's something I'd really like to see. Is Jersey from the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat.
Nice.
I need that in my life.
Nice.
As a
Joseph,
Christian, having a bit of Joseph in my life is something you need to sprinkle in. But when Andrew Lloyd Webber put the movie adaptation up on Show Must Go On, I fell back in love with it. So I'd really love to see it in person. So
Yeah, exactly. Have you guys been watching the NT live things?
I haven't been. I've kind of just fallen off the cliff with just anything really that isn't Netflix or Disney Plus at this point. But I'm alternating watching Beetlejuice, School of Rock, and then every Disney film ever. So
Oh, I've been killing it
Yeah,
on the
that's-
Disney films.
Basically my schedule too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean
I don't
everybody's
listen to music.
everybody's been going back into old fandoms and stuff. I am gripping with the ends of my nails, trying not to rewatch Sherlock right now. It is
Rewatch
ridiculous.
I've got sucked back into Torchwood. Rewatch Sherlock.
No.
That's next on my list.
Charlie,
So good, though.
Torchwood is amazing.
I could talk for ages about Torchwood.
Is Chris Chibnall, who has done the last two series of Doctor Who. And when you see how good he is, when you watch Torchwood, you will literally be trying to rip your hair out at how bad Doctor Who has been.
Yeah.
Actually,
Just
makes me cry.
comparing Doctor Who to Torchwood, there's actually character development in Torchwood. It's really good. Watch it. It's on iPlayer for 9 months. Hello.
If you rewatch
If you watch the end of Torchwood Series 1 and then watch the series and the finale of Doctor Who Series 3, it continues on because Jack hears the TARDIS and then he gets taken to the end of the universe. So
yeah, because I couldn't remember which. I will. I've just finished season 1.
Jack flirting with everyone, even Martha Jones, is just Yanto.
Jack is just amazing.
I saw your cosplay.
Don't talk to me about Yanto.
They're bringing it back.
I'm not ready.
Torchwood's coming back.
When's it coming back?
John Bowman said that it's coming back sometime next year, hopefully.
He said it's
because they dyed his hair for Doctor Who. Spoiler alert! If nobody didn't know, he came back in one of the episodes.
I still haven't seen that episode.
Me neither.
I'm putting bets on it now. He's going to appear in the festive special.
But Yanto won't be there. That's all I care about.
No, but I'm putting bets on it.
I love
because they wouldn't just bring John Barrowman back for a quick cameo. There has to be, and in promotional footage when they did some sort of challenge, he's in the background. So I'm putting bets on it now. Jack is turning up.
Don't get my hopes up, Matty. Do not get my hopes up.
We need the Torchwood musical then.
What?
We need...
Sorry.
Thing, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were saying it did exist. Does it exist or not?
No, it should.
Oh,
it
okay.
should.
I thought you said you didn't see it.
Yeah,
we don't want someone who's not John Bowman. We want John Bowman in it.
Cool.
It has to be John Bowman.
He can act. He can sing. He's amazing.
He can be really good on stage.
Yeah.
He's
so,
he's got
John,
that presence.
If you're listening.
John, we need you to do this, please.
I think John needs. He knows he needs to do this.
Or just a musical episode of Torchwood, please. Anything.
Yeah.
That would be.
To be honest, they could probably write one in.
They absolutely could. They get hit by some alien thing that makes them sing. Yeah. Sounds legit. That's Torchwood.
Yeah, I really.
Yeah, but you'd have to make a new cast because we now only have 2 members of Torchwood.
That's fine. They can.
And I don't. Yeah.
Yeah. Bring Yanto back somehow.
I love how
the Doctor Who universe. They could do it.
Yeah, you
get the Doctor to bring Yanto back.
Do you know that there's a shrine to Yanto Jones?
I know Yanto's shrine is amazing. I love it.
So good.
Oh.
An actual shrine.
I saw it when I went to look at a uni over there, and God.
I relate to that Sherlock statement because I watched the first episode yesterday and I cannot stop watching it. And I have a Moriarty poster over there.
Oh! Oh wait, you know what was funny about that noise? I can see the sound waves in my Audacity, and it just went so big and so So basically, I have an Moriarty. So I had Sherlock. The reason I'm hesitant about getting back into this because I was I had this friend group that kind of turned me into one of these Tumblr kids, and they're lovely, but I became one of those ooh woo my small gay beans, and I was ugh, and I hate looking back on that now. But Sherlock was very much part of that, and when the helicopter scene with Moriarty happened, I genuinely screamed in my house for about 20 minutes, but you know what was the worst part of that? Because obviously, spoiler alert for Sherlock, but people have seen it, you know? Then it goes years ago, then I went, fuck! I was so mad. Because I paused it to go and scream for 20 minutes because I was so excited he was back. And then it's no, sorry. And it's no, too much. But genuinely, it was an issue, and I need to get. Now I'm hearing Jim Moriarty sounds on TikTok, and I am getting. And because I've seen Andrew in a bunch of stuff since, stage wise and stuff, and that is a weird part of my life. I'm not sure if I want to revisit, but I'm feeling it, and it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen soon. If I can I'm gonna log into my Netflix, and it's gonna happen.
Come back next episode for Ben's Sherlock meltdown.
Yeah, I'm gonna be hi guys, oh my god, my uwu small gay beans John Locke. I'm gonna revert. It's gonna flip something in my brain.
My Beetlejuice trench coat doubles as a Sherlock coat because it's more of a Sherlock coat than a Beetlejuice coat.
I have a coat that doubles as. I mean, it doesn't really work as it. I've got one that works as Jack, Sherlock, Robotnik, and a load of other JD. I think. That's all the same coat.
What is it about these
I
gay
don't care.
geniuses? What is it about these gay
There's Sherlock
geniuses that have this coat?
Up there, that's like all Sherlock.
Yes,
On the top
Amazing.
of my toy shelf.
we're gonna
Yeah.
we're gonna
Like,
discuss this.
skull and what?
We're gonna discuss this when I rewatch it. We're gonna have a moment. I feel
Can we
it.
just have like a whole episode on Sherlock?
I'm
Yes.
so
Podcast.
Yes, we can. That is a whole
'Cause,
nother
like, I
podcast.
reckon we could talk for a solid hour on this.
We probably
I'm
could.
up for any Who content, so...
Oh
Yes.
my god!
Can we chuck
Okay.
Supernatural in as well?
Don't bring.
Super
Don't.
Who
Then I
Lock.
will. Then I will fully revert. Then I will fully revert back to 13-year-old Ben, and it will be Super Who and it will be like my Andrew
It's
Scott.
simply for cell activation code. You've started it now.
Exactly.
It's too
Exactly.
late.
It's gonna happen. And it's gonna be a
We
problem.
have to.
But genuinely,
Okay.
I still have my Moriarty like cardboard cutout in my room, and it came with like a little small one. So I have one little small baby, and then I have one big one, and he's just there, and he's doing like the the angry Moriarty pose, like the head down and the look up. And it's funny because like
Yeah.
for the first few days when I had him, and I would come in and like turn on my light, he would be in the middle of the room, and I'd be like, and I'd be like, oh god, there's somebody in the like a genuine, because he looks so fucking terrifying and real. Although if Moriarty was in my house, I would not be complaining. I mean, it's Andrew Scott. Have you seen the man? But it's
Yeah.
but it's an odd thing to see in the corner of your room at night, because he is facing like the opposite end of my bed. But it was a very, very good purchase. Very good purchase.
Beautiful.
I once, and we're not going to ask why, I once had cardboard posters of every single character from Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Like,
Wow.
life-size, 6 to 7 foot tall posters.
Wow.
And I decided that the best way to store these was up and across my wall in my uni flat. And it was like, my flat was like an L shape, and it was so on the corner of the L towards my door that I just had like 3 of them all set up. And I did this, then I went to sleep in the dark. I had completely forgotten, woke up in the middle of the night to go to bed. And I don't like turning my light on to go to the loo, so I just put my torch on my camera and just shone it into Colin Farrell's face, and it was a moment.
Oh my god, wait, I have a similar thing, but of okay, this is another phase from even younger than Sherlock, or like reasonably about the same time. Twilight, I think we all
Oh my gosh, yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I was Team
Yeah.
Jacob all the way. And I had a
I'm
big
not a Twilight kid, sorry.
No, Twilight, sorry, out the window.
Oh.
Absolute
I
trash.
Me and
read-
Charlie
I
are just
read the
going to go
books.
off and...
Yeah,
I've
I've
got
got
something else.
Jack. He's
I
here.
I read the book, and I read all the books, and I was like this sad kid, like reading alone. And I had a big Taylor Lautner poster that said Twilight, and then big Taylor Lautner like my mum surprised me, and she plastered it on my wall. And so that's like of where we used to live, like a big, yeah, it's crazy and was terrifying because it faced you in bed. So when you turn the lights on, it was just this big like Jacob trying to do a sexy pose, and it was
Amazing.
it was absolutely a moment. But that's another one that I regret being like that. But it that it happens. That's how you be when you're young. You get into those Super Who and Twilight.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Charlie,
just
I
be
have
like
a
that
spare
sometimes.
Jack figure if you want it. I have a
Oh, God.
spare, which is identical to this.
oh,
So if you
legend.
want it, you can have
Yeah,
it.
please send him over.
Yeah, but
I'll take anything, Jack, please.
yeah, just write it on the post and be like, this is essential shopping for Charlie for the
Mhm.
Yeah,
for
yeah,
Corona.
absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Essential.
It is essential. It's an essential item.
Right,
Oh,
so
okay.
shall we carry on?
Yes.
With Attic Chat, where we're going to ask Ren a couple of questions, which we've all answered in episode 1. So, Ren, how did you enter the magical world of cosplay?
How did I enter it? I've been cosplaying for like 7 or 6 years. I think my like really old friend from middle school got me into it because like we used to like write as the characters, and like out of nowhere she started sending me like pictures of some people dressed up as like the certain like, anime characters that we were running as, and I was like, that's like literally the coolest thing ever, and that's all I want to do in life. So so like I got interested in it that way, which was very young to start cosplaying, honestly, because that was like 6th grade or something. I forget how long ago it was, but yeah.
Very cool. That's cool, yeah.
So, Ren, do you have any funny stories from your time as a cosplayer?
I have way too many, honestly. Most of them happen on my lives, because, like, everyone in my lives are, like, absolutely insane.
They're pure gold.
Yeah, shout out to the Rat Gang.
24-hour one was insane.
Oh my god, yeah. But I didn't last. Yeah. I lasted 12 hours out of that because of copyright on TikTok, but...
That's quite impressive, though, lasting that long without copyright.
Yeah. What funny story? There was one time when I was in that, like, super Hulak phase, I was, like, absolutely obsessed with Supernatural, and I went to a con with one of my friends, and it was our junior year of high school, and I went as Dean Winchester, and she went as Castiel. And
Nice.
our junior prom was coming up, and we were just going to go as friends. But I was like, I'm just going to surprise you with, like, a poster and, like, do, like, a gigantic promposal. So I did that there, but, like, that's not really the funny story. But as I said, I dressed up as Dean Winchester, and when we were going down the escalator, I saw this mom also dressed up as Dean going up the escalator. So, like... When I got to the bottom and she got to the top, I started screaming. I said hi to her, like, from across the room. We had a whole entire conversation screaming. Like, two Deans, like, in character to each other.
That's amazing.
Damn!
But you know what? But you know what I love? That's canon, though. Like, that could happen. That deadass is gonna like it probably has happened. I haven't watched every single episode, but good lord.
It's just two Deans just screaming at each other for like a full like 10 minutes across the room.
Yeah, that's how it be. That's exactly
amazing.
Grown woman.
Oh my god, exactly. Okay. Yeah.
That's so good. Okay, so Ren, what advice can you give to someone who wants to start out cosplaying?
I mean, there's a lot that I could say, but I think the number one thing is, like, don't get too stressed over, like, not looking exactly like a character, because I know people can get super, super bent out of shape for not having, like, the same exact clothes and, like, the same body shape or, like, skin color, but, like, that really doesn't matter. It's just, like, it's all for fun, so just don't stress out over it.
Absolutely, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good... Yeah, there's too much, we've reiterated this, like, mostly every episode, but it's true, and people need to listen. It's just, it's fun. Don't treat it as, like, a chore or, like, stressful of, like, this is something that brings you joy and characters that you do because it's fun. And also something that I realized recently when I did the Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared thing, of, like, try not to get too bent down if you spend time on content and you post it, like, especially on TikTok, and then it flops or it does bad or whatever, like, try to put the main focus on you enjoying it, because otherwise you can immediately be like, oh, for fuck's sake, like, I did this and now I immediately feel bad about this, or I feel bad about whatever, to try and not rely on that kind of validation. As easy as, I mean, everybody does it, but, as much as you can avoid it, definitely.
You just have to have fun while you're cosplaying, and like there's so many cosplayers out there, especially like in the Beetlejuice community. There's so many Beetlejuices, and like I've had so many like questions, like that same exact question. I'm just like, just do what you want to do, and you'll be amazing.
Exactly.
I love our clone duets, like Ren did one yesterday of the clone. That was masterpiece. That has more likes than my original video, so.
Amazing.
I saw it.
Your
like
beach
that is
godly.
beautiful. That is definitely beach.
Yeah, your beach is godly. So
it was all beaches.
Yeah, we all be. Well, I haven't done mine in forever, but I have all the stuff here because I brought it for like isolation just in case. But I feel it's gonna come back again, like Sherlock and Beach. They're both inevitable, and they will come back.
Sherlock Moriarty.
Yep. But I mean, I have a suit, so I might do more audios of Moriarty in a suit, but not an official thing. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But oh god, it happens. I think also if I get my worry is that if I get back into cosplay, it's going to be all that real that it's ending, because I haven't listened to the soundtrack or anything from it, and I always skip past it really quick. Of from Beach, so like if I listen to it, especially some people who like are doing home at the end, that I'm like I can't listen to because I have to just sit and stare at the wall for a minute and be like, oh god.
That always like plunges me in the feels every single time I watch it or listen to it.
Exactly. So I need to be emotionally prepared for that. So the topic we're going to discuss is if we were to create a new Beetlejuice cast, who would we cast? So we're allowed to cast whoever we like for the West End or for another revival or as you like. So maybe let's start with Perry. What do you think?
So I don't have a complete cast because as we've mentioned in previous episodes, I'm new to the theatre thing. But obviously I have had thoughts about who I'd want as Beetlejuice. So I have my dream cast of Will Blum as main Beetlejuice with Jake Sharp as understudy.
Yes, Jake Sharp.
Jake Sharp.
Like, oh my god, that dude needs to play Beetlejuice. Like, I'd even accept Will as understudy and Jake as OG, but I feel like Will needs to be like proper Beach at some point because he's just so good. But those two in either combination I would take in a heartbeat.
So valid.
Like, absolutely. And then for the rest of the cast it's a little bit trickier because I've not seen much theatre, and if I have, it was a while ago. But yeah, I'm again completely stumped. So we've got Beach. Can anyone cast anyone else?
Yeah, sure. Charlie, what do you think? Or Matty's got his hand up. He's raising his hand.
I came up with this, and I haven't got a full cast, Perry, so don't worry.
Good.
There's one, Jake Sharp, of course. I'd love to have Jake as Beetlejuice.
Hell yeah.
And Will. But this is a kind of a jerky one, but I think it might work very well. Tim Carey as Ursa. Because I love Tim Carey, and I think he could do a good Ursa.
Yes.
Oh my god, I didn't even think about Otho.
I could see that.
Oh my god.
If you've ever seen Home Alone 2, you can see like a very camp Jim Carrey, and I think if he brought that performance to Ursa, and if we wrote the script again and he comes on the hoverboard with the LED lights and everything, that would be fabulous.
We need to have Otho on a hoverboard.
Something
we need.
It would be so gracious on the hoverboard.
Yes.
So gracious.
Yeah, we miss the sex cult Otho and the hoverboard and the terrifying reality that is the Washington DC version, but we miss it. Blonde Lydia, miss her.
Oh.
Matthew, what do you think for
DC version is a whole other story.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've read through that. That's interesting grounds.
Yeah, Jesus. Matthew,
especially the whole being dead thing lines. They're very risky.
Oh, I miss when they made it canon that everybody that dies is bi. They went, we swing both ways here, and it's like, excuse me, give it back. Which is, obviously it's fact, but we want it on Broadway. Matthew, do you have anybody else, or that is a very valid suggestion? But what are you?
I'm gonna have another think there because I need to think.
Yep, fair enough. Ren, what about you?
I actually, when I read the script, I started to think about it like immediately. So
yeah, me too.
I have Alex Brightman as Beach because he's amazing, and then for an understudy, I was doing this with my mom, so like we were trying to bounce ideas off each other. Nice. But she said Jack Black as an understudy.
Yes.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Can you imagine how crazy that would be?
But can you imagine him being an understudy?
Perfection.
But I can imagine him like being an under. I mean, it would be honestly so valid because he'd be like, yeah, Alex, you go ahead and do this. But it'd be so funny, like Jack Black just being in the theater like every night, just waiting. That would be fucking hilarious. I love that though.
It adds so much.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my god. Who else you got?
I put Presley Ryan as Lydia, and then for an understudy, Winona Ryder. But I don't know if she can sing or not, but like...
I love that you're putting these like major celebrities as understudies as if they're just gonna like chill in the dressing room and like wait.
Yeah,
like
why not?
Okay,
They have...
Hot take. Winona Ryder as Delia.
Yes.
Yes.
See that that
Yes,
is.
Yeah. I was
Crystals.
thinking about younger Winona Ryder, and I totally forgot that they're kind of older now, so that would work better.
Yeah. Oh my god, facts. Okay.
Michael Keaton was Maxie. I'll shut up.
Wait.
Yes.
Mm.
Just have like the whole movie cast.
Yeah.
Completely different characters.
Yeah, Catherine O'Hara's Maxine.
Yes.
I put Helena
I
Bonham
want Matt
Carter
Lucas as
Delia.
Maxine.
Helena Bonham Carter as Delia. Wow. You're going for a star-studded cast there. That sounds more like a movie adaptation of the musical.
Right?
That would be interesting.
We're doing the whole Mean Girls thing.
Yeah. Oh
Movie
god.
adaptation of the musical adaptation of the movie.
Matilda does that.
Oh yeah.
Matilda's doing that.
Yeah.
Fucking if they don't
Yeah.
get the Wormwood better be good. The Wormwood better be good. It better be ideally it would be the current. Ideally, it'd be the current man I'm in love with, Sebastian Torchia, who is wonderful. But I don't think that's gonna happen.
I have someone for Adam.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh, who?
David Williams.
No.
Ooh.
I'm gonna say no. I'm all up for open for ideas, but no. That would be very. That would be cursed.
David Williams. Okay.
Oh,
Can we
now
have a
that's
Little Britain musical?
huh?
Yes.
Okay, if we're going for like famous comedians for things, what about Rufus Hound as Adam?
Yes.
Or maybe Charles. He's good at the dad. You know, I saw him in The Boy in the Dress, and he's very good as the dad. So I feel like Charles would be a good one for him.
Yeah, Dad is.
Yeah.
A good
I
one.
feel like for another beach, if we're going like comedian sort of actors, Tim Minchin would be like a decent lead.
Yes.
Yes.
Because
Yeah,
I love that man.
He's
He's
feral
amazing.
as fuck.
absolutely.
Yeah, he's so terrible. He'd do it great.
He's.
Yeah.
I love him. I need to meet him. I say this as if I can just call him up and have some tea, but like I would love to meet Tim Minchin.
Sounds chill.
Yeah, like
just
let me
come
just
over.
give him a ring after isolation's over. We can just go hang out.
It just has all the contacts. It's not fair.
Well, not with Tim Minchin. I wish though. I'll get there. I'll get there.
He's on your hit list.
He's on
Gonna
my.
get him one day.
I'm gonna fucking get him. Yeah, no, I have I have some people that I'm just like, yeah, absolutely. Have you guys got other stuff? Because I have like a full. I've got like a full idea.
I have Jane Krakowski as Barbara. She was in a couple Broadway shows, and like she could pull off that like very ditzy kind of white mom person.
Ditzy white mom. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, that is a character type. I love that. So basically I was thinking same as most of you for Bede, Jake Sharp, no exception. Jake Sharp or Stephen Leask as understudy, because I love Stephen Leask, who was Cal in Waitress, and he was one of the closer to the beginning Deweys. And Will Blum, love them. Lydia, another shout out to my wonderful friend Kristen Stickley, because I will accept no others. Give me Kristen or give me death. Kristen, who is not from England, but if this was, I would love her to do it in the West End of, because I also want her to come over here and hang out, because she hasn't yet. But yeah, give me Kristen or give me death. Delia, I was thinking Laura Taboo, maybe, who was Rosalie in School of Rock. Just because she has that ginger, she is a ginger, so like not same energy, but like I feel like she could pull that off well. And also Jemima Rooper, who was Rachel Crabb in One Man Two Governors. If you saw the NT Live, and she was also Audrey in Open Air Little Shop of Horrors, and so I think she could do that very well. But as a side thing, if she was if Delia is as she is double cast as Miss Argentina, I would actually probably way prefer actual Hispanic women to play Delia, because otherwise it's a little bit iffy with Miss Argentina. But I don't.
Yeah.
But those people, if it was just Delia, not Miss Argentina. And Adam, a guy called Mark Antolin, who was Romantics Anonymous, who I talked about last week. Of that, he plays kind of like the lovable guy who's awkward and just kind of like awkward and dad, and I think he could pull that off pretty well. Or Dominic Marsh, who also played the original in Romantics Anonymous, so he's got the same kind of energy. Or I was thinking maybe Jack North, who is Robert's and I in Mary Poppins, but I don't know if he's old enough. He's a little bit of a baby, but also just
I'm casting Jack North as Ryan Breslin's track.
Yes, okay, that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say if not, he would fucking kill it in the ensemble, absolutely, because he's a dance like skill like crazy. But I agree with that track as well. That would be iconic. Barbara Carly Borden, who is she was in Dead Dog in a Suitcase. She was in basically a lot of the shows that I talked about last week, and she's gorgeous, and she has kind of like the nice mum energy and like soft blonde. Charles, a guy called Martin Hyde, who was in Dead Dog in a Suitcase. He played a dad, and he's got kind of a dad energy. And then, as you said, Otho, I realized I hadn't cast Otho, but I was thinking maybe Sebastian Torchia as Otho, because also I just want him in this. He plays Wormwood on the West End, but I feel like he could do. He is a straight guy, but I feel like he could do some very funny campness and like some of the Otho lines because of the way he does the Wormwood and the way he can put emphasis on a walk or on a movement. I feel like that being very like over the top, he could do very well. So that was what I got, but that was mainly for like an idea of a West End cast. But because I want to see them. I want it over here. Gimme.
Gimme. You need it.
Gimme, grabby hands.
You need it.
Just grabby hands to the producers.
I can't stop thinking about what Jack Black would look like as Beetlejuice, and it's cursed my brain.
I mean, it's easy. It's just Grace Goes Uncle, right?
Yeah. Oh my god!
Matt.
Wait, facts.
Yeah.
Matt is just Jack Black as Beetlejuice, right?
Yeah.
Like no exceptions.
Yeah.
Matt is Jack Black, and then he cosplays Beetlejuice. So you don't need to see Jack Black as Beetlejuice. We've got it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We'll just do that.
Exactly.
Again.
Yeah.
That's the photo ref. Exactly. Although I would love, because I know Jack Black and his son have like a TikTok. It would be very funny if he did put on some like sloppy beach makeup and did an audio.
He definitely would.
He would. He absolutely would. I mean, he knows Alex. He knows Alex from School of Rock. I'm sure he would be like, "Oh yeah, I love this man."
I don't even know who that was.
Oh, rude. Don't they know you're busy? Don't they know you're being a star?
My sister's going insane over Animal Crossing because she's trying to like pick out all the ugly villagers, and she's like, "Who do I kick out? They're all ugly."
No! Stop being so mean.
They're all so small and pure.
The whole thing of Animal Crossing is you sit and you farm and you whatever and you make friends, and then people are like, "This ugly motherfucker, I want to kick him out of my..." And it's like, no,
just whacking them with their nets.
I
They
know.
like torture them. They like lock them in their house, and like my sister like literally set up a fence around their like entrance so they can't get out.
That's so mean. That's like killing people in The Sims. I mean, I get it more in The Sims maybe because sometimes you can like the neighbors can be rude or something, but like it's because they look weird, which is not a good message for like this wholesome game. Like, just leave him alone. It's like, he's got a unibrow, I don't like it. And it's like, whoa, this seems iffy to me. Yeah, oh my god.
The only character that I really care about in Animal Crossing is Leopold, because he's a gigantic lion that has tiny, tiny glasses, and he just wants to be a teacher, that's it.
Well, I love that.
I love
Why does that
him.
sound like a Beastars character? Why does he sound like a Beastars character, though? Deadass. Have any of you seen that? I haven't seen it, but I've...
Yeah.
I haven't seen it, but I've got so many messages from people
You're
going, "You
right.
gotta watch Beastars." I'm like,
It gets weirdly
Definitely right.
sexual, but it seems interesting.
Mhm.
Okay.
yeah.
I
Matthew?
mean, like, it's mostly judged for that one scene that you probably know what I'm talking about.
I mean, there's a...
I
Yes,
do
but...
not.
I mean, there are a
Which
few more
one
scenes,
scene?
but still, yes.
There is a scene that, like, is, like, going around TikTok, and...
Yep.
yeah. Anyway,
it's-
it is a good show, but...
Anyway.
Anyway.
Right, next we have Otho's life lessons, and this week it's one that is very, very close to my heart, and it's wisdom that I think we all need to hear, and it's that McDonald's and KFC will bring the chicken back eventually.
Oh,
That rhymed. It's not even in the script rhyming. It's all good. Please bring back my chicken.
Yes.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of food things that I'm swear I've talked about this as well, but like Greg's, people were missing Wagamamas. Yeah, was that what you were saying
I
before?
need my couplings.
Yeah.
Oh, there's too
There's
many
so
things.
much food that I want it, and it's not here.
It's absolutely so
I need
rude.
it there.
I
I've been
know.
so
Theatre and food are my life, and then when you can't go out and see have some like specific cravings of things, it's just like absolute bullshit. Oh,
Yeah.
now I'm thinking about it. I bought Oreos today, and I might make like an Oreo milkshake thing. I don't know.
real good.
Oh my god.
I thought he was going
I
to say, I'm
want
going to make an Oreo cosplay. I was
An
very
Oreo-
confused.
That would be.
Now we're
You can
cosplaying
try
Oreos,
it.
guys.
Oh, there's
What
been
flavor?
worse. There was
A
somebody.
chain of different flavors of Oreos.
Oh my god, we'll make it a tag.
No.
We'll make it a
No,
tag.
We're doing this
do
now.
it.
We're doing it.
Okay, yes. Oh my god, 'cause
What
there
are the
are
different flavours?
there are some
There's
like
some
whack ones.
Peanut butter, red velvet.
I did
Maybe the
peanut
birthday
butter.
cake
Like
one.
birthday party.
Yeah.
Oh, birthday cake is good. Yeah.
Chocolate brownie.
That's rainbow.
Lemon.
I'm having that one.
There's
Lemon.
lemon,
With,
s'mores.
I think there's some like vanilla. There's a vanilla Oreo where instead of the chocolate they have the chocolate biscuit, they have a vanilla, which is
Do
interesting.
they
which is interesting.
actually?
Well, it tastes like
Yeah.
not bourbons, but what are they called? You know the
It's like the custard
custard
cream
creams.
one.
Yeah, it tastes sort of
Yeah,
like
yeah.
custard cream, but not as
Because I
good.
really don't like the Oreo biscuit. So.
I mean, maybe.
I trust the team.
Dun, dun, dun.
How dare you? That's not allowed.
Now I want Oreos. I don't even know if I have any.
Yeah, I don't even like Oreos that much.
I ate
now.
all mine.
Yeah, I
Oh,
mean,
goodness.
supplies are dwindling. Yeah, because I went to the shop today and I had the first human interaction I've had besides my family for like a month, and it was just this nice guy being like, "Oh hey, what's up?" and like he was like, I was like, "How are you holding up?" and he's like, "Oh boy," which
I mean, that's a mood.
yeah,
That's
it's
everyone's
right.
That's
general
just all of
reaction.
us.
Yeah, we're
How are you
just.
doing? Oh boy.
Do you really want to know? Because I need to talk. And then they're like, "No, it was
Yeah,
you know."
are you a therapist, and
Yeah.
or do you want to be?
Yeah, can I give you $80 and we just sit for an
Congratulations
hour?
on being my therapist now.
You didn't ask for it, but here it comes.
Well, you ask how I am, and I'm in isolation, have nobody to talk to. Here's $80, and you'll be my therapist for an hour. Here we go. No, absolutely.
Like,
Well,
I
just
always
some
ask people, like, oh,
experiences.
how's it going? What have you?
Yeah, exactly. I
People
mean, the social, like common hellos have become a little bit more loaded questions now that you have too much time to sit and think with yourself. Just like, oh my, getting into it. Oh no, what is that? We've got a Joe
Just
Exotic
Joe.
background.
Oh,
Killed her
I
husband.
haven't watched
Whacked
the show
him.
yet, but people are absolutely going insane over.
Yeah, they do be.
Yeah, I don't know how long it's on Netflix for, but I've not finished it yet.
I haven't finished it, Charlie, don't we?
I've not even started it, so it's all
I
good.
just feel
I
like
don't
once you
intend to.
start it, you have to finish this show because it's so wild.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't.
see what happens.
I'm Joe Exotic.
Uh,
And Carol Bass.
Baskin!
Also, guys, before
I think she found a way out.
She had a
Round up her
stroke
husband.
at her husband
Ran into the
from
tap.
across the kitchen.
yeah, I know way too much about Tiger King without watching it. Like I know all the like weird spoilers. I'm sure it's still surprising, but because of TikTok, like same with like a lot of fandoms, like I know
Yeah.
so much about them without having ever seen it. Anyway, guys, I want to bring up a serious point right now, and I just want to say.
We get hit by copyright.
Yeah, that's just something really close to my heart, and I think that
Yeah.
everybody needs to hear it.
I mean, that was absolutely necessary, and really well said by Ben.
That was
Um,
really, really important.
yeah,
and
thank
I
you.
I needed to know that.
Thank you. For a little bit of context, it's a like a dubstep song or something, and somebody said if you mouth "I don't want to eat my asshole" over the speakers while it's playing, it does that fun thing, and I've been doing that forever, and I will immediately after this is over lie in my bed and do that for another 20 minutes because it's way too fun, way too satisfying, and it gets in your ears, and you're just kind of like, this is where serotonin comes from. That's where it is. So I had to
that video, pure serotonin.
Yeah, that's it.
Amazing.
That's my only source anymore.
Surely, that's the only source.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
So that brings us to the end of today's episode.
And on that bombshell.
And on that bombshell. So time to plug our social media. So I am everywhere. 4 rats in a trench coat at Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook.
Wonderful. Charlie?
I am Charles II Cos on TikTok and Instagram, and there's underscores between each word, I think. Probably.
I love that when you have to tell somebody your social media, like for a formal thing, you never know. You're like, wait.
Wait, what is it?
Yeah, I'm just like, it's Charles II, right? Right.
Maddie, what about you?
It is Matty Cosplay Show on Instagram and TikTok.
Lovely. Ren?
I am Evil.misfits on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube.
Nice.
Nice.
I didn't know you had a YouTube, but that's sick. Okay, so mine is Benedictok for TikTok, because that's the only really, like, content that I do publicly. And it's me fucking about, and me being an idiot, as all of us. Basically this podcast, but more honed and fun. But yeah, Benedictok, BENEDCTOK, which I'm proud of, because it's a stupid pun. But yeah, make sure to follow the podcast.
If you don't get the joke.
Yeah. Way too many people haven't, they just haven't mentioned it, and I'm way too proud of that username. So make sure to follow the podcast on Instagram and Facebook, which is the Neitherworld podcast, but I think it's just Neitherworld _ right? And it's spelled like
so, yeah.
neither, like NEITHER, but it's neither, you know, just for spelling purposes.
Yeah.
On YouTube, Spotify, and SoundCloud.
Yes.
Amazing.
So thanks, Ren, for joining us and being an amazing editor for the podcast. And thanks to everybody for listening, supporting the podcast. And we will see you all next week with another episode.
And support to Ren for editing this.
Yes,
this
thank
is going to
you.
be hard.
Yeah, we apologise in advance.
It's so much fun.
Yeah, thanks so much for editing. Yeah, goodbye from me, Charlie.
Me, Ben.
Me, Perry.
And from me, Matty. Goodbye.
And from me, Ren. Hi. Bye. Goodbye.
Bye. See you next week.